I received some questions today on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm going to do my best to answer those for you today. How does my craft work contribute to my personality? Well, I'd say it allows me to be my weird self that I am. I don't feel the need to not let my strange flag fly. I really enjoy making the monsters, and I'm so much happier doing this full time than working in mental health or working in a hospital. I enjoyed that time, but I'm very happy that I get to just make dolls, make crazy creatures. And they're an insane amount of fun to make. And they weird people out, which is part of their charm, I think. I think that makes them lovely. What motivates you to keep going? I have to say custom orders. There are times where I'm not feeling super motivated and I'll get a custom order for something I can get super excited about making. You guys have amazing things you want me to make, and that helps out a lot. And that kind of feeds into another question I got, which was, how do I deal with having a block where you just don't feel like making anything? If it isn't a custom order, then my partner is amazing at asking me to make something. So getting a request in general, I find, has been fantastic at getting me over a block. That's been really good. Another one, what goes into making a monster? I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit, but there's a pattern, then there's cutting, then there's sewing, then there's cutting, then there's stuffing again. So that's the gist. The design work, that's a whole nother thing. That's more complicated. Primary source of inspiration, definitely animals. I would love to say my imagination, but animals are so much weirder than anything I could come up with. So animals are definitely my number one inspiration behind the products that I make. What is the hardest monster I've ever had to part with? It was 2012, and it was one of the first monsters that I made for the Culture Crawl. His ears were backwards. His legs were too short, his arms were too long, he had bumpy limbs. He was not a beautiful monster, but I loved him. And it was very hard to put him up for sale. It was my first year in the Culture Crawl, and all the monsters were listed at $38. But I listed him at $100. I decided if I had charged a lot for him, no one would buy him and he would still be there at the end of the day. There was a lovely couple that came in, they were having a baby, and he was going to be the first monster to be in the nursery. And they bought him for $100, and he was the hardest monster that I ever sold. That was the hardest one to part with, for sure. I'll sit back down in just a sec, I'll just get him out of there. What equipment do I use to make a leather monster? I sew my work with a Juki, and the Juki is designed for upholstery and leather work specifically, so it has a walking foot. I also use a hand doll, and that's it. Just thread, leather, hand doll on my machine.